Castlewellan Castle was built in 1856 by the Annesley family. William Richard Annesley was the fourth Earl, and he was responsible for the building of the castle.
In places like this, the first impression is the approach, and it's got a mighty drive and beautiful trees. So I think that sets the sort of tone of the place. You actually arrive, and I think it's a granite building, isn't it? Tremendously strong, hard, a serious building.
Moving into the cellars, you find that these are different from the rest of the castle. You have a vaulted ceiling which is made out of red brick. You have sandstone on the floor. You have what we call blue stone on the inside walls of the castle.
Just absolutely loved it, and just the fact of the way it used to be back then, and how things used to work to be easy on the big family.
This is the library. It's a beautiful room. It has so much character. There's so many parts of it are hand carved, and you can look around the mantelpiece and you can see it's all hand carved. Above the mantelpiece, above the mirror itself, you can see A&A, which is for Mr. and Mrs. Annesley. Special Seeker's Passage. In order to open the door, you actually just click your fingers. Now, I've perfected this over the years because there's a certain pitch, but just watch this. Impressive or what?
It's an amazing story.
Well, it's really something to aspire to in my lifetime.
Yeah.
This is,
She wants to live in a castle.
I do. I'm going to build
In
my
here,
own.
she lives in a castle.
When I get home, I'm going to build a castle. So it's going to be lovely.
Yeah, at least draw a picture of one.
Well, I think that it's a formidable building, but actually when you enter it, the proportions actually are quite human. They're quite manageable. We're standing now in a beautiful vaulted cellar of brick and stone, which actually has got quite warmth to it actually. And the grand rooms at the top of the staircase are welcoming and manageable in size. So whilst it looks a cold, strong, formidable building from the outside, inside, it's strangely homely for a building of this size. So I think the family that built it achieved two things. They made it look permanent and strong, but inside they would have enjoyed a homely atmosphere.
This is Mrs. Annesley's bedroom. It's the biggest bedroom in the house, and it overlooks the lake. You can see right down to Newcastle, to the sea, and then of course you can see over the mountains, and if you look to the right hand side you can see up to the end of the lake. Well, you can't now, but in the olden days you would have been able to when the trees weren't grown up as far as they are now. She would have had a fireplace in this room. She would have had a 4-poster bed. She would have had a writing desk in the castle, and again you see the wood effect, very elaborate, made out of oak. And this is where those who lived in the castle would have gone up and down stairs. Today the castle is a Christian conference centre. We would have about 6,000 to 7,000 people who come through the doors every year. They come to study the Word of God, most of them, to learn more about His ways. We believe, people who work here and come here, that Jesus is the way, the truth and the life. He's the way to heaven, that by believing in Him we have purpose, meaning to life, that we go to heaven. That's what it's all about for us.